Greetings, horror fans. Let's talk about Halloween, one of the longest running franchises in horror history, with tons and tons of films from multiple directors in different universes. And it all started with John Carpenter's 1978, I'll say masterpiece. It's a solid film which kind of revolutionized what Halloween was going to be. A holiday that kind of was ignored in cinema, and they didn't have much of a budget. John Carpenter did his score himself in like 4 days. The mask for Michael was literally a Star Trek James T. Kirk, William Shatner mask. They cut the holes out of the eyes, spray painted and modified slightly enough to use it, and didn't violate copyright. Probably would have today. But the whole point was to basically create this entity, the Shape. Not Michael Myers, but the Shape, who would eventually go on and be killing babysitters and so on and so forth. And we all know the story. And John Carpenter didn't really want it to go beyond there, but was talked into doing 2, which is also a solid film. And at that point, it was supposed to end. It was supposed to become an anthology, which is when Season of the Witch showed up as Halloween 3. And actually, if they would have taken the Halloween name away from it, it probably would be a much, much, much more positively looked at horror film. Even though it's still my favorite in the entire franchise. I think Halloween 3, Season of the Witch, is an amazing film. And that was kind of what Carpenter wanted. It was going to be an anthology. The Shape could move on to another host. Michael was done. That's not what the studios wanted, and that wasn't what the people wanted. They wanted Michael back, much like Jason became the face of Friday the 13th, and Freddy was the face of Nightmare on Elm Street. They wanted Michael, and they brought out a lot of shitty Michael sequels. Since then, Rob Zombie made some shitty Michael movies as well. And then Danny McBride and David Gordon Green and Jason Blum created the amazing reboot of 2018 from Blumhouse. And I absolutely love 2018, and they did the best thing they could. They basically removed every movie beyond 1 that had Michael in it from canon. They just said, this shit doesn't exist. That means 3 can still exist.
Dark masks, gather round your TV set. Put on your masks and watch. All witches, all skeletons, all jack-o'-lanterns.
The third commercial, it's still on, please. Take off the third channel, it's still running. Stop it, please, for God's sake, please stop it. There's no more time. You've got to, please, stop it now, turn it off. Turn it off. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it.
One more day till Halloween. Sorry, I'm going to have that in my head all day now. But everything else was eliminated. You can go straight from Halloween 1 to 2018. You don't need to see 8,000 films to figure out what may or may not actually really be canon and try to figure out the wonderful world and how many universes there is now with Halloween. You basically say, I've seen Halloween 1. Great film. Oh, I go straight to 2018. Which was a fantastic film in its own right, and probably either the 3rd or 4th best overall Halloween movie. Only behind 1 and Season of the Witch for sure for me. And there's kind of this tug of war for me between 2 and 2018. And then Kills came out, and the film seemed to have no direction. Kind of was just a slaughter fest, but we kind of emphasized the power of the Shape. And that was the one takeaway I thought could really make Halloween Ends a brilliant film. And then when Halloween Ends started, it went a direction I didn't expect. And I was okay with that. I was completely open to what it could be. And we focused on Corey Cunningham as basically what ended up becoming like the Padawan learner of Michael. And I kind of felt like there's this symbiotic relationship, and you can kind of see it here. Where he's absorbing the power of the Shape. Like, the Shape identifies with Corey Cunningham, and he runs away, and it's fine, but he comes back, and he learns from Michael, and Michael still needs him because he's not killing, and he's weakened, because the Shape needs the power of murder and fear to generate that strength, that superhuman ability. And then, of course, what happens is Michael starts getting fed kind of by Corey because he brings him a kill like here. and they start to like kind of symbiotically relationship. The Shape's kind of starting to recover power, but it's also starting to incorporate Corey into it, and Corey takes the mask and the knife and goes after Laurie. And at that point, I'm really cool with it. I don't want him to kill Laurie. I did want that to end with Michael, but here's where the first major fuck up happened. This is where the movie and the series basically came to its standstill and lost all direction. And it was this moment right here. Michael's in the house, Corey's on the floor. They had an opportunity to allow Corey to take up the mantle, and that's where it should have gone. If you really wanted to end the Michael story here, which it absolutely should have, you let Corey walk away. So what they should have done is had Michael pick up the mask like he did, pick up the knife, walk out of the room after Laurie, and that's when Corey should have woke up. Not having him break his neck, not having him be killed off, because it basically spent an hour and 20 minutes building up a character who turned out to be absolutely irrelevant. Not setting up the future, not laying the foundation for future films, and not transferring the Shape from one character like it was always intended to be to another. Because it's not about Michael, it's about the Shape, the essence of evil. That was the first fork in the road where they took the wrong turn. The second one happened right here.
The body of Michael Myers was disposed of in a midnight procession.
Now, as you can see, Michael's in the grinder. He's been defeated. He's going to be, thrown down and killed off, and that's fine. But at that point, the moment he had a chance to wake up for just a second, not be completely dead, grab Laurie and pull her into the grinder with him. And that's how they should have gone. They should have gone together. There's no reason Laurie Strode made it out of this film to basically wander off into the moonlight, writing her book, talking about the Shape. Like, the Shape was irrelevant. The Shape didn't matter because the mask at the end of the movie wasn't picked up by Corey. Like, that was the moment which it could have been. Like, we could have not seen Corey at all. We could have thought he was dead, and then he could have came back in at the end of the movie, grabbed the mask, and set up the Shape to transfer to a new place, a new location, a new set of characters, a world without Michael Myers and Laurie Strode. And that is the moment they had. And instead, they chose to build up a character for almost 3/4 of the film to kill him off irrelevantly to Michael. And then, of course, Laurie just gets to wander off into the sunrise with Hawkins, and they live happily ever after. And it's just a weird conclusion to the Halloween saga, especially when you look at Final Girls as a genre. And there's plenty of Final Girls who've seen multiple films, but they all usually end up the same way. They don't make it. Even major characters like Nancy Thompson eventually met her end in Nightmare on Elm Street 3. Christy Cotton ended up getting, not only did she kind of fight to a standstill, but she got bored with the fight itself and became Hell Priest herself. Like, there's so many different Final Girls who just never get to walk off in the sunlight. Like, how they chose that option out of everything they did right with 2018 will never make any sense to me. But they had a chance to make a movie, set up a brand new road for Halloween, and they opted not to do it. And that there turned the whole movie to dog shit for me. Like, you had a chance, even with the Corey thing, when I was like, oh, this could still be salvaged. This still can be salvaged. This was a major mark in the movie that just ruined a whole setup, but they still have a chance. and they chose to go down the second fork, which just ruined it further. Now, I want to hear your thoughts. Did you like Halloween Ends? Do you like Halloween as a franchise? Do you think they're ever going to make another movie? And if they do, where do you think they go from here? I want to hear all your thoughts in the comments below. Please, I want to know. I love to have conversations about horror films, so let's have one. As always, thank you for watching, and you stay groovy.